Capricorn, your love card for 2025 is the Empress. And there's a reminder to stop and smell the roses, to take the time to enjoy your relationship and the experiences you'll share together. For some of you, that might include the experience of motherhood and giving birth to a child, or it could be your role as a mother, or maybe you're just thinking about having a child. Or it could be that the focus is the mother of your child or your wife, your ideal or an important woman in your life, someone who exudes that Empress energy of femininity. If that's not the case, it could mean that this is a year where you're now ready to commit totally to a relationship. And this can bring the birth of a new union, or maybe you're working creatively towards shared goals with a partner. You may be very in touch with the feminine side of your own nature, whether you're male or female. And you could have a greater appreciation for what that means. Your attention is geared towards security and comfort. Maybe you're creating a love nest, or at least a beautiful home environment where you both feel comfortable. It's a year that focuses on pleasure and fulfillment in love, and an energy that encourages you to participate in activities that stimulate your senses. So it may be that cooking or decorating, renovating, whatever it is, being surrounded by children, by pets, music, plants, flowers, art, the things that bring you joy, and of course, your partner. This brings great satisfaction to your life this year. And everything you do, whether it's preparing food or housekeeping or tending the garden, working on something that means something to you, you put a lot of heart into it this year. You can meet someone as a result of a creative project, or maybe you're working on a creative endeavor with a partner. But overall, you want a sense of well-being and happiness. And this could be the year when that practical application brings you closer to abundance and your desires, even if you were ready to give up on love. This is also a very attraction-oriented energy where suitors are drawn to you like the flower that you are. Others find you beautiful, and you seem to effortlessly attract just by being your best self. So for some of you, maybe you're going to take a greater interest in your appearance, paying more attention to how you dress, what you look like, how you feel. You have a greater warmth for others, and it's through that self-expression and the willingness to help and care that you learn about your own feelings. And so this could be a year where you're the vehicle by which a partner achieves a dream, or vice versa. It's a highly fortunate period with regard to intimacy, sexuality, and sensuality. It's also a year where communication is key, and there's this supportive energy that helps you improve your relationship. Or maybe you find a new and better one if that is your desire. Now, negatively, self-doubt can hinder your progress. It sets you up for a self-defeating situation or the abuse of your generosity. So if there's been a failure to thrive, maybe it's due to self-indulgence or waiting for what you want to be delivered without any effort on your part, or maybe it's your hesitancy that causes you to miss out on valid opportunities for a loving relationship. Because the emphasis is on how good you're feeling, the caution is against overindulgence and extremes. That means in any direction that's harmful and non-productive, especially where vices have detrimental consequences. So, the image on the card, she's smelling the flowers, but it could be that somebody has their nose in too many places, or, they're going from one flower to the next. So for some of you, there could be issues that come up in your relationship where either of you may be going too far, spending too much money, or maybe on the other end of the extreme, depriving yourself completely. For some of you, it's the carelessness that means an unwanted pregnancy or financial hardship that impacts your relationship. If your relationship is stagnating, it might be due to a lack of effort, or there's greed, or just too much focus on the material. Again, issues of infidelity. Some of you, maybe you're struggling with depression because of fertility issues. Maybe you're having difficulty having a child, or you experience a miscarriage, or problems trying to conceive. And so you can have issues that leave you feeling non-productive or emotionally unstable. But keep in mind that giving birth to the kind of life or love or relationship takes time. It takes nurturance. You may have to be more diplomatic with your partner when you're trying to make a point, or you want to get your way. Or maybe you have to come up with some effective strategies that work for you or help you find a partner. And it may be small steps, but those will lead you nevertheless to the larger goal. Because what you do this year concerning love and relationships and how you relate will make a big difference in the future. And sometimes when things become challenging, just stepping back, taking a time out, either by yourself or with your partner, can help to recharge your perspective, renew your confidence, your motivation, refresh your relationship. Again, you'll need to take some time to fully appreciate your life, your circumstance, or the possibilities, even the little things that you tend to overlook or take for granted. Another important issue to be aware of is acting like a mother to your partner, because that is so not sexy. Or shutting your partner out because you're totally focused on domestic responsibilities or the care of the children, and you neglect the part of your relationship that needs attention. And sometimes when you do give, there can be too many strings attached, or it's too conditional, or maybe that's your partner. So the caution is about, giving without smothering or stifling the individuality of the other person, as well as your children if you have them. Now, your rapport with a partner can go one of two ways. There's a sense of satisfaction. Perhaps, you have a lot of memories of experiences that you've shared with someone, and that tends to influence the direction of your relationship, maybe for positive or negative. There's a sense of appreciation. It could be that you're in a relationship where maybe your partner indulges you. Maybe they buy gifts for you, or you have luxurious experiences together, and that becomes important or crucial to the relationship. There's something about this year where, it's easy for you to get your wish. And maybe it's easy for you to get into a relationship or get out of something if you want to. But it's also a year where you need to consider your strong desires for someone or something, and not really dealing with the truth of the consequences if you were to get what you wanted. So, you could invite something into your life that is more challenging than you're prepared to handle it. Now, again, you could very easily get your way. There's a sense of enjoyment, contentment, abundance. You may have luxury items that are given to you as gifts, or you're doing that, you're offering that for someone else. But for some of you, there's too much focus on the material. Some of you, maybe you are going to marry someone older, or you're married to someone who is wealthy. It can be that because of the strength of the memories, the experiences that you've shared, you're able to stand together and overcome some kind of difficulty. But gratification is a large part of your relationship. In some cases, there's too much preoccupation with the sensual. So, there's extravagance. It could be seeking fulfillment at all cost. It could be very hedonistically charged. So it could be some superficiality in the relationship. And if that's the case, eventually one of you may end up being very closed off. Or one of you may become very selfish in the relationship. So In some cases, it may be very challenging to stick to an ethical approach given some kind of temptation. Or perhaps you're not satisfied in the relationship. You had high hopes, great expectations, and it turns out to be a great deal less than what you expected. But so, there's this continuing theme that self-indulgence can be your worst enemy, whether you're overestimating other people, a situation, or even yourself. And so you have to rein in your ego and keep common sense as the guiding factor this year. Because if not, something that you want, you could have thwarted desires, you don't really get what you want, or you thought something had a lot of value based on past memories, and then when you take a closer look at it, it's not what you thought, it's not what you expected. So you may be dealing with somebody who is kind of smug or arrogant. Maybe this person is leading you on. You think it has value, it's shiny, and yet this person may be very narcissistic, or they're a player, too much into the material, the sensual, or that could be you. In the positive, you both feel a great sense of satisfaction because you both see the value in your partnership and in each other. It may be that for some of you, who you are, maybe you have the same kind of background, the same upbringing, or maybe you've known this person for a very long time. Or it could be that you found love later in life, or you have plans to grow old together. Or for some of you, you feel like the relationship strengthens as time goes on. It just gets better and better. So, this is going to be a year where there's some kind of significant turning point for you emotionally or in your social development. Maybe you're getting out more. Some of you, maybe you connect with someone, maybe you go have drinks, or you go to a wine bar, or you enjoy having a glass of wine and spending time talking to your partner. But getting out, getting involved in the community, or, some kind of shared place of interest could stimulate your social life. And this could be the year where you're healing some things between you and a person. Maybe it's something that's gone on for a long time of you, or you've known this person a long time, or this person has a very strong healing influence over you, or vice versa. So some of you, again, it's the birth of something new, some kind of opportunity, and it can come up in very small situations, a large number of small opportunities. Some of you, you're going to start planning a more permanent future with your partner, and that may be motivated by this strong willingness to compromise. So for some of you, you are planning to have a child, or there's news about a pregnancy, or maybe you enjoy spending time with your children or your grandchildren. But it's a year where things can feel as if they're healing because they're falling into place. And for some of you, there's some kind of boost that comes about that allows you to think about the future. But for others of you, there could be some things that are going wrong. Maybe some miscalculations that have taken you in the wrong direction. And you start to feel like you just can't get a break in this relationship or find someone. And you may resort to making some decisions that aren't really of value. Maybe you decide like you want to have a child, like that will fix the relationship. Or maybe, you're deciding something that seems right, but it's for the wrong reason. It may be that you need to heal. Maybe you're involved with somebody who needlessly toys with your emotions. They actively deceive you. Or maybe you're dealing with somebody that has some issues connected to alcohol that they need to overcome. Or, there's some problems with squandering money, or, maybe someone is meddling in your affairs, stirring up issues within your relationship. In the positive, there's a great sense of duty. It may be you're learning more about someone, even if you've known them for a long time. You're doing a lot of reflecting, and that is healing your relationship as well as yourself. So there could be a conscientious effort to be more open-minded, to see the value in something, to be reliable. But for others of you, it's this constant looking for greener pastures. Either you or the partner, you think something has value, but you think it's over there somewhere else, or it gets better, in a different circumstance, and likely what you were hoping for doesn't actually deliver. Now, as far as the physical attraction, the sexual chemistry here, there is a rebirth to that commitment. It may come as a result of getting married to someone, or, you're manifesting the kind of relationship you want. But this could be a period where you're really committed to yourself and your partner. You're making some positive changes inside and out. Again, remember I said that sense of fulfillment, paying greater attention to your physical self, your sense of well-being, your happiness, your health, the things that bring you joy, and consequently, that carries over into your commitment. So for some of you, there is something taking place that is going to excite your love life a bit more. There's going to be new life. It's going to change in a positive way. And it could be that, someone is interested in you, the rebirth of a connection where you may not immediately recognize that they're trying to establish something with you. There could be some veiled attempts at that, or perhaps that's you, but there is a sense of empowerment either in trying to manifest a relationship or through the relationship. So again, you could have a very social life. There could be a lot of interest in you. There could be some things that you thought were dead inside. Feelings, the relationship, the connection that reawakens your desire for the better. And it inspires you to change socially, to change your appearance, to change the way you relate. An important factor is that wanting to compromise, to relate to the other person's point of view. And, you may be deciding that you want a very traditional relationship that's going to take the conventional steps that lead to marriage, or maybe you decide, the both of you, that you want something that's alternative, something that doesn't fit the mold. So it's the wisdom of following convention or breaking away, but whatever it is, there's some kind of positive transformation that lends you a greater sense of self. Now, the values that you both share is this sense of hope about the future. Knowing when you need to shut out the world, shut off the technology, spend time with each other, or when you need to spend time alone. You know how to refresh, to recharge your batteries. And you know how to keep that sense of harmony between you, that sense of friendship. So for some of you, it's this belief in something bigger than yourself that allows you to rejuvenate your relationship. If you're facing a setback or some kind of difficulty, either of you, what you share is trying to find the lesson, maybe the silver lining in the situation. And you may have a very strong intuitive link with your partner as well. So whether you deal with something unsettling, maybe both of you know how to rise up and meet that and let that become a part of greeting your higher self through some kind of adversity. Again, by recognizing the purpose behind a situation. And both of you may be good at recognizing what is actually achievable versus what is an unhealthy challenge, a no-win situation, knowing when to let go of something, release it, and recognizing that quickly to maintain that sense of harmony. So again, having faith, knowing that maybe your relationship is being guided in a particular direction. Maybe you feel as if there is some kind of divine force that has brought you together or is pushing you on the path. Knowing how to use discretion, when to be open, and when to use discretion, what to keep to yourself, what to share, is important in your relationship. Those are the shared values you have: faith, hope, knowing how to inspire one another, and really feeling comfortable enough to, put it all out there, bare your soul, be vulnerable, especially when you're alone together in your private moments. Now, the area of conflict that you may have with a partner is, how you review matters. Maybe you remember things differently. Could be revisionist history, distorted history, or overestimating or underestimating the value of some experiences that you've had. And so you could either feel, that you're not quite on solid footing and that, you're ready to just fly away, or maybe you feel like your partner is very flighty. You could be reviewing a lot. And maybe you've gone quite a ways with the partner, and there's this sense that, but is there something more? Is there more out there? Is there something bigger, better for me? Or maybe your partner is, having those kinds of thoughts. But this is a year to be more realistic than idealistic, because you have opportunities to make some changes if you want them, if you recognize the sacredness of connection in your relationship. So, this could be a year where your level of attachment goes through some kind of change. The problem is procrastinating because you doubt yourself, or you doubt the relationship, or you're meeting with resistance. You may give up on a relationship if you don't feel you're getting the kind of support that you need. Or it could be that one of you is vulnerable to intimidation or manipulation because there's a lot of indecision, a lot of things that aren't really stable. And you will regret not trusting your own instincts in that situation. But for some of you, again, this issue of how you see the past or how you review a situation is important. It's important that you get your facts straight before you start making decisions or you start creating a problem, because something may be off with the way you see something. And you could be making some decisions based on assumption rather than fact, or vice versa. So some of you, financial issues have become a problem. Maybe you have lost control emotionally, financially. It could be one of you is dominating the other because of a situation, or there's the failure to see the big picture, to see something in its entirety, or the failure to use your personal power, or vice versa. So you could be in a waiting period, and maybe that's a source of contention between you, whether to wait, whether to act on something, whether to move forward, the boldness of certain moves or lack thereof, maybe getting some cooperation or diplomacy is an issue in your relationship. So finding that balance, making some important choices. Maybe you're waiting for an answer, or you're waiting, or your partner is waiting for you to give some kind of confirmation. So this can be about, scattering your energy, putting it in too many places, not focusing enough. And remember, the message of the Empress is to take some time out to tend to what is important. Or it could be that you're being very rigid or inflexible, or that your partner is. Again, the Empress card is a very favorable card for love and romance. If you're in a relationship, you'll find it easier than usual to let go of old patterns that aren't helpful. You'll find your heart open to resolving problems. even problems where you may have previously been stuck. So you're becoming more aware of the moment, of what's going on in both you and the other person, and you can move toward a more mature love where you put romantic notions aside in favor of a perspective that is healing for your heart. Here's your sneak peek for the year in love.